Hello, I'm Tibu.
Hi.
Thank you for being here. And I was wondering, I was wondering specifically for you, what's your personal investment in this movement? Yeah.
My personal investment is to give as much as these mothers have given to community. My personal investment is to stand by them and stand in front of them if need be, and put my body on the line as they are putting theirs on the line for all of Oakland and for the nation.
Oh.
They've taken great sacrifice, having children and still making this demonstration public in a way that could jeopardize their freedom. So I consider these women freedom fighters in line with Chairman Fred Hampton and his son, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., the chairman of my organization, who's standing here with me right now. While we're trying to save Mom's House, we are also trying to save the Hampton House in Chicago.
That's right.
Right? Because housing is a human right, and it's also a place where we can learn our history, like in the case with the Hampton House, of the freedom fighters who've come before us.
That's right.
So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. And because Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. is here, young people, we're all from Decolonize Academy Reform Magazine. We all about supporting you. You might want to ask him too once these folks leave. Oh, she turned it on. Okay. You scholars, can you ask Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., because as I said, homefulness, which is a homeless people's solution to homelessness, we just found out the permit gangsters shut us down because we took too long to build a poor people's solution to homelessness. And it's a crisis. I didn't even tell you yet. It's very serious. So, but anyway, you scholars, or adult scholars, anyone? Yeah, go ahead.
Just, what's happening here in West Oakland, it's also happening in San Francisco, it's happening in different parts of the U.S. Where black and brown communities are being literally gentrified and kicked out. Again, beautiful that you guys are standing. That's one of the reasons that we're here for. Yes, how you say that, because this is not only happening here in the Bay Area. And how do we combat this, and how do we go about this, of black and brown communities being displaced through gentrification?
My comrades point out, the deal is we cannot afford the luxury to set trip. We respect no colonial borders. The locations that you just laid out is happening in Chicago, the gangsters and the banksters, from the Fannie Mae to Freddie Mac, so on and so forth. This is happening all over. And I was asked earlier, in regards to lack of communities coming together about this. So this is not an overnight move. It's been strategic on how communities are divided. Prisons are microcosms of the outside community. And with the prison administration, what they would do is they would systematically break up cell houses. Divide the communities, divide the cell houses, then make moves. Make moves on certain individuals. There used to be a time when you grew up, you can walk a block or neighborhood blindfolded. You can say which families were here, so on and so forth. That has been dismantled. One of America's policies, whether it be Detroit, whether it be Oakland, San Francisco, wherever the case may be, is to create chaos and then restore order. Again, to create chaos and then restore order. So this is done by design. Again, so a lot of times we hear terms like food, clothing, and shelter, and we see it like kind of taking this cliches. That's a reality. That's real. That's a basic human need. So again, we have to seize the time with cases and campaigns, as our comrade, communication secretary just pointed out. These mothers are here and they're standing strong. So again, we can have their back like a backpack and their chest like a bulletproof vest.
Oh, Mateo. Thank you. Rebecca Kaplan, as a conscious person infiltrating politics, you know how I look at it. Our youth scholars and family scholars from Poor Magazine. Anyone have a question? I don't know if you heard, but homefulness is under attack. They shut down our building permits, so we will be calling you. They said we took too long to build a homeless people's solution to homelessness. Yeah, don't you just love that? But yeah. And other youth scholars too, ask from Decolonize or adult scholars.
How are you using your skills and your knowledge to help out this movement?
Well, there's a couple of things we've done working together. In June, the city council passed our budget, and one of the things that community leaders, as Group Carol was involved with, came to the council and said, put money aside for what was called a permanent affordability fund. Create a pot of money that the city can use to buy properties such as vacant houses so that we can house people who otherwise would be homeless in them, and that's something we did successfully. We passed that unanimously through the council. Another step we're working on this week is to identify a list of vacant properties that we can work to have the city work with nonprofits like the Oakland Community Land Trust to try to buy them. Another thing that I've been fighting for that I think we need to continue to work to make stronger is protecting tenants from wrongful evictions. People see there's all these people on the streets, but they don't talk about why. And it's because of wrongful evictions and excessive rent increases. So strengthening enforcement about that, helping to make sure a tenant facing that kind of struggle can have access to a lawyer or other kind of assistance that they might need, I think is a really important part of how we stop more people from being pushed into homelessness.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bless you.
That's great.
Oh, go ahead. Did you have-
No,
I wanted to ask a question. So, Kamasa, homefulness is poor people, homeless people, and indigenous peoples together.
Yes.
We actually go even further, and we want to try to unsell Mama Earth. Because this has never been supposed to be a commodity. And that's, we all have our different layers. We're on a different tip, but we stand with Sigorte Land Trust in that
Yes,
and other indigenous
absolutely.
movements. My question to you in terms of some of the systems that are in place, like the permit gangsters, when we create housing, they make it extra hard for us to even build. My question is, what can we do within the city politics to actually change that? What are some ideas that you might think about?
One of the things that I've been fighting for, which we also put in the budget, is to have a special team at the permit desk whose specialty is helping people who have some of the smaller projects and who are open evenings and weekends. Because right now the permit desk is only open during the week, during the day when working people can't go.
Thank you.
And they tend to prioritize the big projects
You
of the
already know.
billionaires. And so we've asked for a special team to work on some of the smaller projects and to be open in the weekends. And that was in the budget. They've opened a couple of Tuesday evenings so far to test it out, and they're working on hiring a new crew to have an ongoing evening hour crew that would focus on some of these smaller projects at the permit desk.
Well, let me just tell you guys too, for some public information, because we're here. Why I call them permit gangsters? They have things like expediter fees
Yes.
that you get higher up in the line.
If you're richer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Developers, I call them, like Lennar and John Stewart, get carte blanche in those systems. And they set up from the get up. It's no joke. So I love that you're doing that, and I want to actually expand a little bit in that to take away billionaire land stealer incentives, because that's the piece that's in there. And that's why what's happening to us is happening to us right now. So I'm just wondering, maybe we
Absolutely.
can talk more.
We'll keep
and-
working on that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bless
you.
you.
All
Bless
right.
you all. Thank
All right.
you so much for being here.